Hello everyone. Now you will hear a brief retelling of the movie 365 Days, This Day. Enjoy the movie. Laura survived the tunnel she entered at the end of the first part, but lost her baby. She did not tell Massimo about her pregnancy, and he was happy that his beloved was still alive. They decided to get married, and before the wedding Massimo stopped by Laura to indulge in passion right on the table. Olga caught them in the act. She chased away the Sicilian stallion and handed her friend panties, so that she chose some and went to the ceremony. Massimo and Laura were married in the church. Then the celebration began, and when the newly married husband and wife were alone, Laura tied Massimo to a chair to cheer him up. She undressed, took a battery-powered druku, and started pleasuring herself in front of the bound man. Finally, Massimo couldn't take it anymore and went down on her. In the meantime, Dominic rolled up on Olga as she was taking a bath. Olga was resentful of him for not paying attention to her, but Dominica managed to win back her affection and they got down to business as well. In the morning, Laura appeared before Massimo in a new look. Her hair was long and dark again. Massimo liked it and they went about their normal daily activities. For starters, there was golf, where Laura put her hole under Massimo's balls. This was followed by horseback riding and fun in the jacuzzi, pool, and probably somewhere else. After all, the newlyweds were very much in love with each other. Dominica and Olga did not lag behind them, but their love games were more sophisticated. Olga turned her partner's body into a cake and wanted to lick it, but Massimo and Laura showed up and interrupted their experiments. Massimo took Dominica away because they were waiting for work, and sent his wife and her friend for a walk. Laura immediately turned on the bitch and began to attack her husband that he treats her like a thing. But then she brainstormed and decided that it was not such a bad option to go to a restaurant with Olga. They really had a good time, and after returning home, Laura put on her sexiest lingerie and offered herself to her husband. Massimo was not confused and started with exercises for the tongue, smoothly moving on to the load on the rest of the muscle groups. In the morning, Laura wanted to repeat their evening workout, but Massimo's phone rang. He had to work. He left his wife alone and left. Laura went to Olga and again interfered with her intimacy with Dominic. The latter was just about to do a deep-sea dive into Olga. The girlfriends went for a ride and had some fun. Despite the fact that their lives changed overnight, they remained faithful to each other. Together they were ready to go into the fire or into the water. The main thing was to keep them in the Sicilian mafia. When they arrived at a small restaurant, Massimo showed up and ruined their high. He took Laura and Olga away, which made them angry. In the evening, Laura expressed her displeasure to her husband. She won't let him control her and tell her what to do. Laura was left alone, and then a Greek deity appeared in front of her, no other way, because he was like Apollo. His name was Nacho, and he worked for Massimo as a gardener. Laura would have liked him to prune her bushes and fertilize her fertile soil, but she was married, so she was content with just lustful glances. After a while, it was Christmas, which Laura and Massimo celebrated in a big way. Massimo realized that his wife is bored because he is constantly busy with family affairs, so he gave her a brand of his own clothes. That way Laura would have something to do all the time and she'd stop clinging to him. Dominic didn't fail either. At Christmas, he gave Olga his hand and heart, not literally, of course, although it was to be expected from a mafioso. He asked her to marry him. All in all, the holiday was a success. Laura was so grateful to Massimo for the gift that she gave him everything she had. She laid out on the bed a whole arsenal of toys for drilling mines and offered her husband to use them for their intended purpose. Massimo was not confused and used his gift to the fullest. When they had all been to Laura in one way or another, Massimo emptied himself and the newlyweds fell into bed to chat. It wasn't a good idea. The witch got frank and told Laura he had a brother. Laura turned on the offended again and started blaming her husband for not telling her about the brother sooner. He had to retreat under the pretext that he had business to attend to. Laura, on the other hand, immersed herself in high fashion and then went with her husband to the ball. Her parents also came here. Laura still resented Massimo and showed it to him with all her looks. But with her parents she was nice and courteous. She wanted to understand how they kept love even after many years of life together, and it turned out that the secret is in compromise. It is important to give in to a loved one from time to time, otherwise nothing will work out. This option suits Laura. She notices Massimo on the balcony with some woman. The girl follows them and sees her husband cheating on her. Laura is confused, and instead of solving the issue on the spot, she runs away. Nacho notices her in the courtyard and offers to help her. Laura asks him to take her away. He starts to take the boss's wife to his house. On the way, Laura calls her mom and tells her she's okay. Then she throws the phone away so no one can find her. At home, Nacho cooks breakfast for his guest, gives her his sister's clothes, and tells her that he is not seeing anyone. But his sister has found a life partner and even got pregnant by him. When Laura hears about the pregnancy, she loses her temper and drops her glass. So that she does not hurt her legs, Nacho takes her in his arms and takes her to a safe place. After hearing her daughter's message, Laura's mother inexplicably lashes out at Massimo and slaps him in the face. However, he doesn't understand why he gets a slap, because he has done nothing to his wife. Moreover, he has no idea where she has gone. The abundance of aggressive poles in his life begins to strain Massimo, and he decides to solve this puzzle and punish the guilty, because he is a mafioso after all. And while he fusses over his wife's disappearance, Laura relaxes on the beach admiring Nacho's pumped-up torso. In the evening, they watch a mystery movie in a romantic setting, and a spark flashes between them. Massimo is already dating his ex. After talking to Anna, he realizes that she is involved in Laura's disappearance and promises to punish her. Anna gets nervous, and it turns out that Massimo has an evil twin brother, Adriano. Anna meets with him to discuss the situation. They get a report that Laura has left with Nacho, which is bad news, so Adriano nails the messenger who received them. Massimo learns that Laura is living on the island with Nacho. He knows who the gardener really is and realizes that it will not be easy to get his wife back. Meanwhile, Laura goes to bed and dreams about Nacho. He kisses her in different places, bringing her to the finish line. However, she does not manage to reach the peak because an unknown man tries to break into her room. Nacho appears and knocks the stranger down. Laura thinks that the gardener nailed him, but Nacho says that the attacker is alive and will be handed over to the police. Laura begins to guess that Nacho is not the gardener, and he confirms that he has secrets that he is not going to share yet. Nacho tells her that the fancy house and sports car belong to his father, and he is taking her out for some fun. He and Laura ride a jet ski and relax on an abandoned beach admiring the sunset. The next day they meet Nacho's sister, and while the girls are chatting, he leaves to talk to an unknown man. Judging by what Laura saw, the conversation turned out to be very unpleasant. Afterwards, Nacho threw himself into the sea and began to pound the waves angrily to let off a little steam. Afterwards, he and Laura go swimming. Nacho teaches her how to control the surfboard, and then they kiss in the sea. In the morning, Laura wakes up from another pleasant dream in which Nacho pleases her with his mouth. But it turns out to be just a dream, and the real Nacho is standing by and watching Laura's pleasure. In the evening, Nacho informs Laura that they have to meet his father. Massimo will be present at this meeting. Nacho tells her that his name is actually Marcello Mattis, and he is the son of the head of a mafia clan that rivals Massimo's clan. Marcello and Laura pack up and go to meet Don Mattos and Massimo. At the entrance, Laura is taken away by Don's guards and Nacho goes inside. Here, Mattis explains to Massimo that he was involved in the accident in the tunnel where Laura lost the baby. He wants to hint to Massimo to respect the boundaries of the Mattos family. But he doesn't get the hint, so Laura ends up at Nacho's. Don Mattis wants to put pressure on Massimo by making him obedient, but the whole mafioso plan goes to waste when Nacho finds out that Laura was taken by the wrong people. He realizes that the main trump card of his family was intercepted, so he goes to save the girl, taking Massimo with him. The two alpha males arm themselves and go in search of Laura. She discovers that Massimo has an evil twin brother, whom she mistook for her husband, and in fact Massimo has not cheated on her. Adriano says that he is going to get rid of Massimo and take over the family. Anna is also involved. She comes here to tell him that she is taking revenge on Massimo for leaving her. However, their plans are not destined to come true. Massimo and Nacho find them. Adriano threatens Laura with a gun and acts crazy. Massimo is afraid to shoot because he might hurt his beloved. Adriano reveals that Laura lost a child in the accident, shocking her brother with the news. At that moment, she manages to escape and runs to Massimo. Anna shoots her, but the bullet hits her in the side. This means Laura will live. Anna and Adriano are less fortunate and are roasted, and then Nacho pulls a gun on Massimo. Despite all the animosity between them, Nacho doesn't nail the head of the enemy family. He puts the gun down and walks away. Massimo is left with Laura, who is bleeding on the stone floor. That's all for today. Put likes and comments if you want more videos like this.